Living the life over here at MotoBros.
Always.
Okay, all right. So,
Yeah. Today we're not talking about something fun.
no, we're talking about stuff. It's basically
It's
reality.
real life. Yeah.
It's reality. It happens, and the sad thing is it can cost you your lives, and oh man.
So we're going to talk about a wreck that happened in front of our shop back in December. So just a couple weeks ago. I guess we're mid-January now. Anyway, it was last month. We saw it, and it's just like whenever you see stuff like that, as people who ride motorcycles, of course it always hits harder when you see stuff like that because, it just brings it to reality that it could be me,
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and I know that this reverberates with everybody out there. It's just these are the things, that when you ride a motorcycle, it's always in the back of your mind, and it's the same thing when you're racing or anything. It's always in the back of your mind. You don't think it can happen to you, and then unfortunately, when it does, it's like the worst thing ever. So So what happened?
Okay, yeah. So basically, the biker was coming up towards our shop. So I don't know if that's north or south, but he was in the middle lane, and a semi truck with a trailer, was taking a left towards, to turn into a private drive or something, and they collided.
The 18-wheeler had to come across all the
lanes.
lanes.
Yeah, he was turning in front of him.
Yeah.
And like, we obviously take this road all the time, and so we're like, how could he have not seen him? Like, I just feel like trucks, sometimes they just go because they're like, everybody will stop for me if I just go.
Yeah. And this is where things come into where stories and when you don't have like camera footage and you don't like, all you have is eyewitnesses and everybody sees something different,
Yes, exactly.
And that's the problem. So what happened is the 18-wheeler came across, he was going straight. Now the problem is, like Kate said, is we go down that road all the time. It is almost a straight road.
Yeah.
So I don't understand if the 18-wheeler just went across and expected him to stop.
Yeah.
And then the guy didn't stop, or he was flying and wasn't paying attention, or maybe he thought he could make the gap.
Yeah.
So now the problem is you just don't know.
Well, something else too that I think is totally true is people, not all people obviously, but a lot of people in general, feel this way about motorcyclists, that they are, risky and they weave in and out, and they see a couple bikers do that and then they say all bikers do that.
Right.
So that is obviously playing into their eyewitness account. Oh my God, he was weaving in and out of cars and
listen, I can tell you this. If I die, they're definitely going to say that I was traveling at a high rate of speed.
And lane splitting.
And no, I don't really lane split. That's like lane splitting is, when you say lane splitting, I think people think it's like there's two cars and you're going like 900 miles an hour. I can tell you this, I've probably said it before, is I never stop in traffic. Never going to. One of my fears is if I get hit in the back. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I'm never stopping. I'm always going to go. And I do it at a reasonable speed, like 15, 20 miles an hour, just coasting down the middle.
Isn't that the point of having a bike? That you can get places a little bit faster for stuff like that?
You're damn right. So one of the biggest things is what you were saying is the bias. So that kid could have been going 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, whatever it is. And the problem is we don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is the cops too. The cops they have the bias as well.
Yeah.
Like if they show up and they see a motorcycle, they're like, oh, this guy was an idiot.
Definitely caused
without
it.
even knowing the facts.
It just sucks that it's like that. You know? It's like, I don't know.
Well, okay, so here's one of the stories that I tell everybody that doesn't wear a GoPro, because if that kid had a GoPro, you would have the footage to see exactly what happened.
All the answers.
Yeah. So our customer's on a Ninja 250, a green one. So he came in because he got pushed off the road on his bike, and when he got pushed off, the guy got out of the car and was like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You need to stop riding recklessly." And then the great thing is he had the camera on his helmet, and all he did was play the footage because the guy was blaming him for riding recklessly. And when the cops show up, he was still blaming them. But obviously, when you're in the moment, you don't really pay attention. The guy had a camera, and 100%. He just shows the cops, the footage shows
Yeah.
that
You
they
can't
both
deny the proof from
Right,
the
the f-
camera.
the footage shows that they both made the turn, and the guy didn't even stop, just went
Yeah.
into his lane and pushed him into the curb. And it is essential that everybody has a camera. And if you're going to buy one of those Chinese ones that last 10 minutes, I can promise you this, that in the 11th minute is when things are going to happen. It's called...
Are you saying that you like GoPro?
No, you can get any camera.
What other brands are
There's
there?
really good ones. GoPro, what's that new one that was just...
There's
coming-
one that
that
goes...
little pocket one. No, that's the 360.
Oh,
That's the GoPro 360.
yeah.
I forgot what they called. Oh my
Anyway,
God.
there's other brands. We're
Yeah.
just saying, like in life with most things, you're going to get what you pay for. So just make sure that you have a good, reliable camera because,
Yeah.
like Craig said, you cannot argue with the
No.
proof.
You can't. And then obviously you have to hide it if it's your fault.
Then your camera's not working.
Yeah, your camera died on the way.
So
But
anyway,
that's the sad thing. And we didn't mention this. The worst thing ever is not only was that a rider in the community and people knew him, but the guy was 16 years
Yeah.
old. Now,
just starting this.
that
life.
is, that's like the worst. I mean, dude,
Are
ugh.
16-year-olds even able to get
Mhm.
a motorcycle license?
Yeah, 16 in Texas.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
Texas.
Good old
Yeah.
Texas. But and that's the sad thing is
Yeah.
now, family, Jesus, if I lost my 16-year-old,
Yeah, it's so horrible.
yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, you can't even put that into words, what
No.
their family's going through. And unfortunately, it's like,
No, it's a shot. Even I feel, man, it's terrible.
but if something like that were to happen, like if you do your family, your friends a favor and wear a camera so that they have the answers if something bad happens. Like, that's just like, I don't know.
I mean,
That
do you
seems like a
wanna-
no-brainer.
Do you want to see that though? Like,
What?
I mean, do you want to see what happened? If,
Well, I
if your
mean-
family member passes away, I guess
I mean, if somebody was saying it was,
yeah, like if they
your
were
fault
blaming.
or
I mean,
something,
for
then
me, no,
for
I'll,
sure I
I'll
want to
for
know.
sure want to
yeah.
see what the hell went down. But
I see what
some
you're
people-
saying. Yeah,
you
don't
know
want to
what
actually see it.
Yeah.
I can totally see that too. That would be really traumatic.
yeah,
So anyway, like that kind of takes us into just talking about, since he was so young,
yeah, like
probably a new rider.
where are the people that, like the experienced riders, need to start taking responsibility to help these younger guys?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like, oh God, man, the horrible information that's on the streets. Like, come
It's
on.
amazing.
Like, so there are avenues out there where you can go and learn what is going on with the motorcycle, how it works. Like, instead of just blurting out what you've heard from somebody else,
Yeah.
that would be absolutely amazing. The thing is I'm not talking to those people. You're not helping the 16-year-old in order to advance as a good rider.
Right.
All you're doing is you're setting them back, because once you say something, it's stuck, and then they regurgitate that to the next person,
Yep.
and it just keeps going. Like, when is it enough?
It's amazing too, just being active, on TikTok and YouTube. People comment all the time on, especially my TikTok videos. They're always commenting their opinion of things. And, I look at their page and it's like an 18-year-old kid who probably hasn't been riding long. And I'm like, I'm going to trust my mechanic husband, who's been doing it longer rather than that guy, unless he has a six-pack.
Oh, damn.
Just kidding. But anyway, like that just goes into what Craig was saying, that anybody can tell you anything. And it's like the older experienced riders need to have, not even older, just more experience, need to be sharing what you know responsibly.
Yeah, but that's like, and the thing is even for us, like, do your due diligence. I could be the most garbage person and give you the wrong information.
True. Yeah, there's definitely people out there working on bikes that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is
That's in all fields though.
Yeah, I mean, that's in everything. But that's the thing is you need to go to somewhere that's like a reliable source. Like,
Do you feel like a lot of like experienced riders maybe want to distance themselves or not be associated with new riders? Do you think that's a thing?
No, so from my experiences, I see more experienced riders being more generous with information to help those riders. It's just, how do you know? Like, the problem with the streets, if somebody's bawling, like they go 900 miles past you, in a straight line, you know what I'm saying? Straight line racers. If they bawl past you, then they're like, oh man, this guy knows what he's doing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes is all it takes is for you to go fast in a straight line past somebody, and then they, if they're young, they're like, oh man, yeah, that's cool.
That's an excellent point. It's like if you're on a group ride with the younger people, or sorry, I should stop saying that, newer people that are newer to bikes, follow the rules, do safe things that you should do, like not running red lights and stuff like that.
I mean, listen, this is the bad thing is I understand why why people wheelie and have fun on the streets. I could care less. That's it's like cars speeding. Like they're going to speed and be on their phone. Why can't we do wheelies and have fun time?
Well, there's a time and a place for everything.
Exactly. That is what it is. There's a time and a place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wheelie next to, and this is only because I'm older and I have kids. I'm not going to wheelie next to a car that has kids in just in case.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want anything to happen to that kid because I'm a moron. None of that.
Yeah.
I just want to go.
But a lot of people cannot admit that. They'll be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it. Not everybody, thinks like that.
No, I know.
I love that you do.
99% of people think like that. But the other thing is the opposite is people in cars, like when they see a wheelie, they're like, oh, that is so dangerous. And they don't even know what they're doing. And if they crash, there are guys out there in the stunt world that are so good at what they do. They can ride a wheelie while that car is going 90 miles an hour and circle that car.
Yeah.
Like that's how good these guys are in the stunt world. Now, it just, what do you say about it? Is it the right place to do it? Do you do it on the highway? Do you do it around people? There's all those things that...
There's lots of factors that come into play.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's just based on what type of person you are. Do you do it? And I understand showing off and having a great time. Totally understand it. Wheelies are part of motorcycle life. Never stop those. But there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
And, with this crash, I always think like that road is like almost a straight road. How do you not see that 18-wheeler? And then the thing is you can say that, and then there's no facts. It's not that I'm questioning it. It's like, did the 18-wheeler just see him and thought he was going to stop just because the 18-wheeler...
Yeah, or was he going so fast that, the 18-wheeler was already turning before he was there? I just don't see how he wouldn't have, on a bike, you're not distracted. You're not distracted by your phone or food or anything. Like, he can only see in front of him. And so I'm like, did he see it? I just don't believe that he saw it and had time to react. I think that I think that the truck made the wrong decision.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is we're just basing off what our opinion is, but
yeah, because we've ridden bikes on that exact stretch of road, so we're like, how could he not have seen it?
Yeah, and I mean, listen to me, guys. It's not there is no turn. It's basically a straight. It might be a 4-degree road.
Curve.
Yeah, but it's so long. You have full visibility. It's just.
I just don't believe that he wasn't paying attention and just ran right into the truck.
Yeah, it's so sad. And then the sad thing was like. One of the guys was on here, told us about it, and they were like, dude, it looked like a Grom. So that's how we found out. We got off, rode right all the way back there. And then as I got there, they were putting the sheet over him. And I was like, man, that's so damn terrible, man. And then to find out that the guy was 16, I was, dude.
It really affects you, even though you don't know that person.
Cry on camera. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's nothing to say to make that any better, but... We just thought, it's a risk for anybody riding a motorcycle. Thing is,
what happens is it starts to take a toll on the rider community because we're not seeing a crash we're not seeing it once a week. We're seeing people die
every day,
multiple times a week. And that's the sad thing is when is enough? Like, when do you guys start taking responsibility and start going the speed limit when you don't know the road and stuff? Like when you're on rides and riding with other people.
That's a big thing. When you don't know the road, maybe don't race somebody.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I know. What are you doing? Listen to me. The funny thing is you want to show off for 5 seconds when everybody else could give 2 shits who you are.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. The only time they're going to know who you are is they're going to be like, dude, that guy lost his leg.
Yeah, whenever you crash.
Yeah, that's the dude that lost his leg. That's the only time. Like for that 1 minute of balling down the street at like 900 miles an hour, zigzagging through cars. and then you lose your leg, that's what's cool
And I
to
understand,
you guys.
maybe that's the fun of it, but like we've been saying, there's a time and a place, and you have to be responsible about choosing when you're going to do stuff like that.
And like the biggest thing is know the road.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna, like, when we have our rides, if you're gonna come, like, take it easy on the first couple times you come out with the route, so you know the route.
Once you do it more, then you can, maybe do your own thing a little bit more because you know what's coming.
Yeah, but the other thing is it's not like we're saying, hey, just go do it now because you know the route.
Right.
Like, you're riding with other people. Have respect. Take the time to
Yeah.
chill. One of the things that I don't like, which it is what it is. There's two negatives. When you get in a big group and bikers run lights, what I see, I think it's stupid, and that's just my opinion. What I like is, like, stopping at the red light, everybody's chilling and talking.
It gives everybody a chance to catch up too.
And the other thing is, what you don't think about is you have new riders. New riders don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh God, I feel pressure to do it. But the other thing
that's
is
a big thing. The new riders feel pressured to keep up.
100%. Yeah. And that's another thing that causes accidents. But what cars don't understand is when you're in a massive group and these bikers are running red lights and doing what they do, there's no way you can be the only one that stops at the red light. You will get packed, and you'll get ass packed so fast. There's no way you can stop at a red light. So if you're in a big group and everybody's running and you stop, it's done. Somebody's going to hit you. That's why everybody goes through the red light, because dude.
Oh, you're saying if one person decides to stop and there's people behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that totally makes sense.
No, I will. I can't stop. There's no way. You cannot stop. And that's one of the things that people need to take into account, which they never will. But I'm just saying, it's just an eye opener. If a whole group of somebody's doing something, you have to, unfortunately, in the motorcycle world, you have to follow, because they're not paying attention. You will get run into.
Yeah.
And I mean, my biggest fear is getting squashed between two cars. That's why I don't stop in traffic.
Yeah.
And another one's getting hit in the back by a motorcyclist.
Yep.
So there's just so many things. And then when do people actually take responsibility for what's going on? And new riders, like, when do you actually tell the truth to somebody that's doing something dumb? Like, hey, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And it needs to be justified, because I've seen videos out there where, riders track the guy down and it's like, oh, you almost hit me. And then the guy's like 12,000 feet away from him,
Right.
because he went faster than him or past him. They're like, oh, you got dangerous and stuff. So there's so much.
And I think, it goes without saying, there's people, the bikers have a responsibility, but so do people in cars. Like, if you're watching this and you don't even own a bike and you're on, somebody who drives a car and hates bikers, like, you take some responsibility too. We share the road,
No.
it's not no motorcycles allowed. And some cars act like it is.
No, I mean,
It's blows my mind, some of the stuff I've seen.
yeah, it's
So
the guy that's trying to stab that guy's.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Just across the street from our shop, we saw a biker pulling out, and I guess we don't really know what happened between the biker and the car, but we know that the car, was very badly done by, because he got out of his car. They were yelling. Then he got out of his car and stabbed his tire, and then tried to stab the guy as he rode off. And it's just like,
It was insane.
I mean, that's just road rage though.
Yeah, it was something to do with road rage, but
God.
I don't know.
People
When
are
do you?
so crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, the car thing is true, but you can't change the way things are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie. I think every time I ride, there's an issue. Car pulls out in front of you. Car doesn't care. Car changes lanes. It's stuff like that. Yeah, we're sometimes I am going the speed limit, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes way less. It just depends. But the thing is I'm always paying attention, but it's multiple times. Cars cutting across to try and make the exit. And it's not all, the problem is it's not always the car's fault. Like, the stories that come in here, I'm like, God, dude, it's not
easy
always
just to blame
the car's
car.
fault. Yeah, it's just not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is the other thing that I have an issue with is people saying motorcycles are dangerous. Motorcycles are not dangerous.
Mm.
They're not. 100% they're not. It's either the operator's fault or the person that whatever, the person that was in fault.
I mean, you could say that about anything, really. Cars,
but
too.
it is. Yeah. Guns,
yeah.
cars,
I mean, it's
motorcycles, they're not unsafe.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
That's so true, because somebody could ride a bike, never break the rules, never take that bike too fast, nothing, and be just fine. And then there's somebody who gets on the same bike and runs it into a wall.
Yeah, but I mean, there's things that I get tired of, and blaming motorcycles for the stupidity of people or cars is dumb. It's never the motorcycle's fault. So it's not like what? Never. It is never the motorcycle's. 0.0% is it the motorcycle's fault ever. The motorcycle.
Are you talking about in all incidents?
No, I'm talking about in general. Motorcycles are not dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm talking about in all incidents.
Yeah.
All incidents. What you said. Zero motorcycle fault. It's either the operator or the person that causes the.
I get what you're
issue.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the motorcycle self fault.
Yeah.
It's either the rider or the person that caused the issue.
So what a lot of people don't understand is, just because you see one biker breaking the law, doing dangerous stuff, doesn't mean that all of us do it. But unfortunately, that's just the way people think.
Yeah, but the
everything.
problem is it's most. So yeah. And I mean, I get it. It's just, it really is. And then the bias that comes with it, because if you are in an accident, it is going to be, I'm telling you now, it is automatically going to be your fault because you're on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. And I'm talking about the initial, when the cops come, and if the car person is blaming you and you don't have backup, I promise you they're going to think that it's your fault unless there's some sort of, you get lucky with like a store having a camera or something like that. So.
I mean, it's one of the best ways I think that you could protect yourself is have a camera either on, where's the best place you think, on the bike or the helmet, if you can only have one camera?
I mean, the helmet is because where you're looking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, it's a sad topic to, really talk about. And when you get into it, it's kind of upsetting because nobody takes responsibility. Yeah. And it's up to experienced riders to give that correct information to the younger generation in order to keep them riding.
Yeah.
Like if you lose a rider, that's another person out of the community that, could have been one of the greats.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. But that's it for today, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Let us know what you think. I mean, obviously,
I would
always
love
open to your comments, your stories. If you've been in an accident, let us know what happened.
And again, don't forget,
if you want to add any tips to us.
Well, I mean, if you're here, come down. We'll sit and chat. I love talking to people about their experiences and what they've happened, and like anything, business-wise, or I mean, anything. It would be nice. So. But that's it.
Yep.
Let's go enjoy the rest of the day. You guys too.
In the meantime, be safe out there.
Yeah, and don't forget, tomorrow it's going to be like 70. I know it's like, it was 20 yesterday, and it's like 40 today.
It actually snowed a little.
And now it's going to be 70.
Thank you, Texas.
I love you, Texas.
All right, see y'all later.
Later, guys.